Hey everybody, Tom Barnes, stories from the 78 here in Avondale. You see that gargoyle up there? That is the OG that was on Clark Street, the alley, celebrating 48 years. 48 years of the alley. It's an independent store. They sell things that you can buy all over the world. Mark Thomas has been the owner. Outspoken Mark Thomas. I got to just say that, and you're going to see why in a second. The man says what is on his mind, and that's why I love doing stories with him. But they're celebrating 48 years. They're shutting down this block for their block party, and I'm going to talk to him now for this story from the 78. This place is celebrating 48 years. They started off, I think, Mark, is it right? They started off at Woodfield Mall?
Woodfield Mall.
Woodfield Mall. We're going to talk to Mark in a second. Woodfield Mall made you know them probably if you're of a certain generation, right there on Clark Street in Lakeview, down the block from Wrigley, but they have all the things that you know and love from the alternative punk world, the whole thing. This is the owner, Mark Thomas. How are you?
What's going on, Tom? Welcome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mark. 48 years.
Yeah, how did that happen? I remember my dad had a plaque on his wall for 25 years. I go, Dad, how do you do that? And here I am at 48 years. It's
and
like
it started
amazing.
With that jewelry
Started
set
with the jewelry
bought.
factory,
Yeah.
and then the alley became my customer in Woodfield Mall, and 6 months later I owned half of it, and a year later I owned 100%. 2 years later I owned 100% of it, and I've been running it all these years, and we went through all the gyrations of changing from being a pipe shop to learning about punk and goth, and it kind of fit a lot of my music tastes and my lifestyle.
Right, and it's something that you have. We just were talking off camera that you continue to adapt. You have to adapt.
Got to change.
And move
got to
with the
adapt.
times.
Got to keep moving. Got to change with the times. But what's old is new again, and what's new is old.
Right.
So you got to keep changing all the time.
And you said, Hot Topic came in and did the punk thing in the suburban, and they kind of ruined the punk thing.
Well, they oversaturated the
Yeah.
market, and they took it down from kind of like teenagers. I mean, you go to Germany and there's 50-year-old, 60-year-old goths walking around. So they kind of overpolluted the whole thing. Everybody kind of pulled back. Now they're busy selling Walt Disney crap.
Yeah.
But what happened is TikTok and Instagram and all of that started to bring back, these green little sprouts of goth and punk, and it was always there, but suddenly it's become a thing again.
And that has helped your business tremendously because that's kind of been your bread and butter. The spot where people can go to buy things that you can't really find anywhere else.
There's nobody like me in 5 states. I had a guy who flew in from Alaska the other day, a soldier, flew in from Alaska, spent the day in the store, blah, 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 jumped on a plane, went back to Alaska. He came here for the day to shop. Had a whole family who did that at the 47th anniversary a year ago. It's incredible.
Right, and you have 48 anniversary block party that's going to be right outside on Fletcher. We're going to walk out there in a second, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on and what you have in the store. These are the shirts that you have always sold, it seems like. When I was a kid, I would come here, I'd want to buy, the Chicago flag shirt, you got the Capone stuff, and then you have some newer stuff behind you.
Well, right, and we have almost 800 t-shirt designs. This is the 150 that kept selling. We're getting ready to take 50 designs out. I have 50 new designs coming. And then I got this kid I call the Wizard of Ink, who took an old group of printing presses, and now he's able to print a full shirt, something you really couldn't do.
Oh.
And so the back and the front of these shirts are just cool, and it's been,
That's awesome.
So, and I mean, every time I get them in, they blow out the door. We're waiting for our next shipment. He can't make them quick enough. He's so tied up.
I love it.
We call him the Wizard of Ink.
The Wizard of Ink. And you also have things that perhaps you can't show on TV, but this isn't TV. Why don't you show me some of those things? Like, are the little bit more, where people be like, oh, I didn't know they sold that there.
Well, I mean, when you come and you start looking at, let's see here.
Well, we got Capone giving the finger.
You got Capone giving the finger. I'm looking for.
You got some. You got some tea. What were the hats?
Here,
Oh, yeah.
like for instance, one of our best-selling shirts.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, you did cover it up for a TV.
Yeah,
segment
so
earlier.
we did for TV. We covered a lot of stuff up. That, in fact, if you look real closely here at this shirt, hidden in there is.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. So yeah, the alley folks, they all want to get in their face. They always, in fact, the shirts were given away for the event.
What do they say?
Yeah, well, it's got fuck on both sides.
I like it.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you just got to keep doing it. You know, Dr. Martens is boycotting us the last 4 or 5 years. In the meantime, the president of Dr. Martens is dying. We're doing great with pneumonia. But people are still calling me for Dr. Martens because they bought their Dr. Martens for me 30 years ago. President of Dr. Martens got fired, and they're drowning in America, and yet they don't want to sell a little guy like me. Real
Really?
Chicago,
They
real douchebags.
They don't want to sell to you, so you found somebody else that does want to sell to you.
Well,
and
we've
that's
sold to these guys for 25 years, but you know, actually, I'll show you a pair also. People are donating used docks, and we're hand painting them. And we're going to start a whole one-of-a-kind used dock deal.
Love it.
We're calling it dock art.
Dock art.
I know.
And then you also have these Rob Zombie.
Right, so Rob,
they weren't his, but he found them and made them famous from an MTV music video.
We
right?
had these for years in the store. They didn't do that great, and then one day he shows up in the store. He was a regular in the store. He bought this jacket, and then over the next few years, we sold a couple $1 million worth of these jackets. It was just unbelievable. He wore it on MTV. What MTV was that?
When they
Does
played
anybody
music?
know what MTV is anymore?
Yeah, for other things, not music anymore.
Yeah.
But you also have jewelry and stuff like that,
We have
right?
all kinds of jewelry, and you know, again, you know, we make a lot of it right here in our factory, and you know, it's crazy. You know, all of this was casted. You know, this is my hobby now. It's not even a business. You know, we make a few belt buckles. We don't wholesale anymore. It's just, you know, it's like I'm one of the artists in the building. I got 30 artists in the building. Part of my art is, you know, the casting of our jewelry and belt buckles right here in the building.
Right, and this stuff made right here in Chicago. You're not
Right.
getting stuff from China.
Well, we're getting stuff from
overseas.
China too.
I mean, but like I'm talking about the specific
you know,
ones
a lot
that
of
you
the
make
stuff,
here.
all the belt
Yeah.
buckles, all that. We print every single T-shirt. We print the hoodies. We print everything here in the store, 20 feet away from where people come to buy.
Here's some more things that you have here, and then there's art over there.
Yep.
So let's walk over there, just because I want to show off as much as possible. But your big event that you have coming up on Sunday, or today rather, you see these Dracula bats. You're giving away those.
Yeah, we're giving away 24 Dracula bats. We're giving away 24 of these Dracula coffin boxes. We've got 200 shirts that will pop in a minute. We're giving away my alley. There's replicas of my personal alley ring I had made to give away. So people have to come in, flip a coin. If it says yes, you get the bat. If it says no, you get a T-shirt and a coin and a couple other items. And you know, it's just interacting with my community.
Yeah, so I wanted to show a little bit of this before we walk outside. But you got all these rings and everything else here.
Oh yeah. Most of these are from my old Silverline Marche Noir that we bought 25, 30 years ago. And then, of course, now all the Chinese stainless has kind of really killed that. This is when we tried to take Marche Noir and make it out of white bronze and then have it really heavily silver plated. But it's, you know, people got to want different artwork. And the Chinese are just, you know, Temu and Shine, they're going to be part of the problem when there's a war and we lose Taiwan, and they're going to be part of America's problem. That's not our friends. Those are our enemies. And if you think all those little bags coming from Temu and Shine are okay, well, you go look at the forest fires in California, and you go look at all the hurricanes and floods. Global warming's real. Temu and Shine are a big part of the problem.
All right, and I want to go outside.
Let's go outside.
Because we got a bunch of fun stuff out here for the block party that you have going on, right?
Right.
So the block party's gonna be right here on this.
Yep,
footprint.
we'll have the street blocked off from Rockwell down to Washtenaw. We'll have hearse on the streets.
You have like a parade, right?
Well, the hearse aren't a parade. They'll just kind of be, it's a hearse show where they're
sorry.
competing, and the winner's going to win a leather coat, and they're all going to get trophies. And, you know, I've been driving hearses for years, and so that's, you know, that's part of who the alley is. That hearse kind of represented that in-your-face freaking rebellion that we always
that you
did.
got inspired. You were the first.
So my
one,
dad
your
was
dad, of all
a
people.
doctor. Then he was the Lake County coroner. And one day I called him up. I was struggling. I said, Dad, I need a van to deliver merchandise. I'm broke. And he goes, well, why don't you buy a hearse for a couple of $100? All of my morticians, they all got these old hearses they can't sell. Nobody wants them. And so I bought my first hearse. So we started putting skulls and flames all over them. And you know, I had 5, 6 hearses before it was all over. Now I'm driving a 2005 Dodge Magnum, which we made look like a muscle hearse.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
The hearse got a little bit big for me in old age.
You've had some struggles with you were on Clark Street, you
Yep.
saw things regentrify, things went up.
Absolutely.
And now things are happening again.
And Avondale's on fire. In fact, we're publishing a map that we're picking up today that talks about the 17 or 18 kind of dark and goth businesses that are all within a half or 3/4 of a mile from here. So we're picking those maps up so that, you know, nobody's paying me to do this, nobody's endorsing me, I'm not endorsing them. I tried to organize, I said, screw it, I'm just gonna do what I want. And so this is my relation saying, hey, you're my customers, here's some other cool places to go, and here's some other cool places to eat, and try to promote the community. It's all about community.
Right, the horror shop, I think, is one of your
The horror
tenants.
shop, and
Yeah.
Kuma's,
Yeah.
and Bucket of Blood, and Insect Asylum.
That
It's
place
just
is
amazing.
fantastic. I love
and
that place.
Cone Ranger,
Yeah,
and you know,
great fashion guys.
And I got my tacos and tequilas over there, and Star Polska, and the Friendship China. I mean, I love these places. They're my friends.
What time does the event start on Sunday?
It's noon to 6 on Sunday.
Noon to 6 on Sunday, and you are fighting to keep things affordable because not only do you have the alley, but in this building, what do you have here?
So we have 100 music and art studios, and we have about 300 tenants. About a third of them have been with us from 5 to 23 years, and now we just got reassessed by the assessor. So 4 years ago, my taxes were $58,000. Then they became $140,000. He's just reassessed me at almost $250,000, which by the time I paid a mortgage, the gas, the electricity, the everything else, he's taking more than half of our gross, and there's not going to be a whole lot of money left to pay all the bills. He's just, you know, and we should definitely have a freeze for music and art and small business buildings on real estate taxes. 48% of the businesses in America are still small businesses. In Chicago, we're killing the small businesses with real estate taxes.
Yeah. So what can people do to help get things lower?
Well, they all got to
their
start
voice heard?
voting. We got to change who's in office. I'm going to go volunteer to be a judge for the election. You know, people who don't vote actually vote for the status quo that's going on.
That's why it's
so
so
if you're
important
so
to vote.
mad you're not going to vote, what you're actually doing is voting for the jerk off that's doing what you don't like.
So vote.
Vote.
Vote. People want to buy stuff online. What's the best way for that to happen?
www.thealleychicago.com.
Awesome. Mark, happy 48th anniversary. That's incredible.
It is, I don't know how I did it. I look back and I go, oh my God, what did I do?
But I think it's perfect that even on the door, it says a safe place for weirdos, freaks, and misfits. All right, that is the story from the 78 here in Avondale. Tom Barnish, Chicago at gmail.com. If you have a suggestion for the story from the 78 or storiesfromthe78.com is the website. So check it out and come on out this Sunday for 48 years of celebrating the alley here in Chicago.